Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Squeeze Take 62. I don't know if I put 61 or 62 in the comments. 62. Defining your love buckets. So I've had some really good chats with some friends about lost 4 words. Insert here. Lost 4 words. Had some really lovely chats with some friends around my live yesterday, Love Buckets. One of my friends even had her hubby watch it with her. Love languages are really important, and it's just a great way. It's just a defined way of understanding how to communicate with your partner or your friends or your family to show love. It's not... love language doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard to understand it. It's quite simple, the 5 different languages. So you have the words of affirmation, the acts of service, the quality time, the physical touch, and the receiving gifts. So 5 love languages. And what I've done is I've just kind of taken it one step further. So for self-love or self-care, it's such a big topic out there, and a lot of people think that it has to be about pampering yourself. And it's not. I believe it is about pampering yourself, but it's not just about doing the things like manis, pedis, and beautifying yourself. Self-love and self-care is really understanding who you are, accepting who you are, and giving yourself the things that serve you. So when I say serve you, I mean doing the things and the stuff that make you feel joy, that brings joy to your life. To define what you need for your love buckets, it's really understanding who you are. It's understanding what frustrates you. It's understanding what brings you down and what lifts you up. So the things that lift you up, they are the love buckets that fulfill you. Or it could be a love bucket that's a little bit, again, I'm very visual. My love buckets in my head, they're these lovely pink small little buckets sitting on a shelf and they just have water in them. You know, when they're full, they're plentiful, and when they're empty, that's what I need. So I kind of picture the buckets like that. A different way to picture it, if you will, if the love bucket thing just isn't your thing, picture a big stove with about 12 different pots, all different shapes, sizes. And you have them all going and something different is in each one. Those can be your love buckets. And essentially self-care is being able to maintain that oven and be conscious about what's going on in all areas where nothing's boiling, nothing's over, boiling outside the pan, nothing's too low, nothing's cold, but it's all just steady flow. In a perfect world, you could just keep that consistent. So all your love buckets would be full and the oven would be spot on. However, we don't live in a perfect world, and the hardest thing to sometimes do is to look within ourselves and realize that you really do need something as a matter of urgency almost to lift yourself up. During the 3 phases of weight loss, you have the loss phase, number 1 is gain, number 2 is loss, 3 is maintain. Normally during that first phase, so your gain phase, the hardest thing happens is you're not being mindful of what's really going on with what you're consuming, how much you're working out, and what you're doing to serve yourself. So your nutrition and your exercise love bucket might go down. You might be really stressed, so you're not doing whatever love buckets you need to do to de-stress. So it could be, going to bed a half hour earlier and reading instead of watching TV, something that just calms you. I find TV time I could sit with Mark and watch TV all day. Don't think I'm not one of those people that never does that. Netflix and chill right here. Happy to do that. If we have, you know, something on TV that we like to watch, we can binge watch. I'm definitely a normal person, so don't think I don't take into account real life. Like, all you have to do is be mindful. So whatever way is best for you to be mindful, there are a bunch of activities. I'm happy to discuss that with you. If you want to comment or message me, we can have a chat. Happy to do that. But being mindful about what you need and doing something instead of maybe TV time at the end of the day. I've started to remind myself about my night routine. I like to go to bed earlier. I like to shower before bed, especially in this heat wave. It relaxes me. Just a quick rinse off. Then I like to read. Reading just calms me, and I am reading Harry Potter again at the moment because I am a massive fan. So that just takes me to, you know, a different place, and it's really nice because it takes you out of being present. You're present in the book instead, but you're focused on that one thing, and it helps relax you. So before going to bed, I like to do that, and then, you know, I like to just do some, what's it called? Like the 5 things I'm grateful for the day. So grateful exercises, just being mindful about that, going to bed with a really clear, happy head to wake up the same way. Sometimes life is busy and sometimes it gets overwhelming. So when you're in that gain phase, you're not paying attention to all these things. Netflix and chill becomes really popular, and most of my clients who I've talked to, it's kind of that time in their life where they know something needs to change, but they don't know what, and the status quo is fine. It does bring happiness, and it does bring fulfillment quickly and just for right then and there. So if you go back to all the mindset types, that's the lazy mindset. That's okay. It is okay to you know, chop and change and be wherever it is that you need to be. To figure out your love buckets, to figure out what it is, you know, I'm going to keep going back to that loss phase. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling stuck, if you don't know what it is you need to do, a good exercise is to think back to when you were really, really happy. What were you doing? What aren't you doing now? What is that little love bucket? It could be a hobby. It could be acts of service. You know, if you like it done for you, why not do it for others? I really truly believe things come about full circle. So I'm a big believer in, you know, smiling at strangers and you'll get a smile back. Maybe not the first person, but if you do it long enough. I am a really big believer in that. So I really think what you're putting out into the world, you're going to get back. So with your love buckets, you have to be doing what it is that makes you happy to be happy. I trust that makes sense. It's very simple. It's not supposed to be difficult. Weight loss itself is simple, but when you have your love buckets full, that loss phase is kind of when some of them are depleting, especially that the love buckets for your nutrition, for your physical fitness, getting your heart rate up, doing that kind of stuff. Sometimes that's the stuff that takes a back burner, and then your stress bucket is just overflowing because you're too stressed, and it's really hard, very hard to lose weight while you're stressed. So if you're not being mindful about where you are and what you need to do, that's when that gain phase happens. So to get into that loss phase, I'm wondering if I said it wrong earlier now. I'm really sorry. I have my notes behind me, so I'm trying to keep this a little bit more organized, but it's just such a topic I'm passionate about, so I do get a little bit muddled, and my apologies, but this is what really works for me, or what has worked for me in the past as well. being mindful about what you need, owning what you need, and being true to you. I talked to a friend this morning, and one of her comments was she loves to receive gifts and she's not ashamed or anything about that. And that's perfect. A lot of people, I'm trying to think of the word she used. It was perfect. Perfect. I don't know if this is going to load. No. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, sorry. Go back to my notes. You can't be ashamed of who you are, what it is you need, and you can't try to please everyone, so just please yourself. I trust that makes sense. It's really important that you understand what it is you need. I did not understand that quality time with my girlfriends was such a big part of my life and who I am. I love girl time. I am so blessed for the friendships I have. And when living in Mackay, I had girl time all the time. Coffees were my thing. I would actually sometimes leave work, a friend would pick me up, we'd go out for smoko, and I'd go back to work. Coffees and melting moments, that was our thing. I don't have that as much since I've moved, and it was really hard for me to figure out what it was I was missing and why I wasn't enjoying my moves as much. I've moved around since I left home. I left home at 17, went to uni a year early. So I went to Fredonia State in New York for my senior year of high school. So the two kind of overlapped. I moved 5 different times for my undergrad. I've lived 5 different places. I'll get there. 5 different places since I've been in Australia, and who knows how many suburbs on top of that. I used to move every 6 months when I lived in Brisbane. I love moving, but since moving away from Mackay, it was really confronting, and it was because I met these amazing friends. I met a couple good guy friends there, still in touch with them, but the girlfriends I made and the bonds that we share are just bliss, and it took me a while to understand how much I really miss that. Now that I understand it, I talk about my girly love bucket all the time. I can easily tell Mark I need my girly love bucket filled, and he's just like, yep, cool, that's not me. You gotta do that. So, phone calls, text messages, visits, that's what serves me, makes me happy, and it makes me motivated to do the things that I need to do or want to do and reach my goals. To define what love buckets you need, you have to define where you are in life. So reflect. A good activity, like I've said already, is when were you the happiest? What were you doing? Can you fit that stuff into your daily routine now? Really think about what makes you frustrated, what gets you out of bed, what makes you jump out of bed and be motivated for the day ahead. Let's do more of that. If it's, if you're saying, oh, it's the weekend, so during the week I have nothing. Okay, well, let's sit on that. A lot of people live for the weekends and the week just kind of comes. That's fine. I do that. I love my weekends. I love my weekends with my family. But something I love is my weekend walks with Mark and Buddy, where during the week it's just Buddy and I because Mark leaves for work too early. But I still wake up every day and I take Bud for a walk. I post a photo every morning to hold myself accountable and to show that you can enjoy life just because it's during the week. So that little thing, it's not long now, Our walk is really short because this heat wave is just hot. But you know, that's a little bit of my love bucket that I can fill every day, start the day off right, and then my day is so much better for it. In the days that I don't do it, I need to start telling you guys exactly how I feel, because it's not the best. I still have good days, but I don't have as productive days. So to really understand what it is you need and what love buckets are most important to you, just kind of picture everything up on the shelf. I'm going to have a blog out today that kind of goes through some more buckets, kind of little, I don't know, a chart in it. So have a check out of that. It should be out this afternoon. It's really interesting to figure out, you know, what will serve you. So if you've enjoyed this video, please let me know what you think your love language is below. Is it acts of service? Is it words of affirmation, gift receiving, physical touch, or quality time? Let me know below, and also let me know what's one of your love buckets that you need filled up quite a bit. Some buckets can be, you know, it can take time to fill them, and they can stay full for a while. I know for me, my alone time bucket, it fills up probably after a good afternoon of just me time doing something that serves me, whether it's reading, whether it's going out for a walk, even if it's a walk by myself. I love walking with Buddy, but sometimes just having that alone time, I could be good for 2 weeks. Sometimes, depending what's going on or how stressed I am, I could only be good for like maybe 3 days. So how often do you need certain love buckets full? Being mindful about all this really helps put everything into perspective on kind of what your weekly, monthly, maybe even daily, weekly, monthly routine could, should, would be. Again, no one's perfect, so it's always the act of being mindful and trying. If you don't try, you'll never get there, but by trying, you'll notice what works and what doesn't, and you'll know your tells on when you've slipped and what you need to do to fix it. So how this plays into the whole weight loss journey is simply that you can know your tells, you know more about yourself, where you can understand who you are, what you need in order to make the tweaks that will serve you to reach your goals. So I trust this has been helpful. I could talk to you guys about love buckets all day. Love buckets. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, and I look forward to having chats with you soon. Bye.